Call the meeting to order. Thanks everyone for being here. We have a pretty full agenda, so let's go ahead and get started. Anything additional that we need to add to the agenda in front of you? The only thing that I've put down there, and you guys, it may not have been on your copy, is we need to start talking about a fall, what lake we're going to do a fall drawdown on. So if that's not on your agenda, make sure that's on there. Approval of the previous minutes from last month first. Do I get a second? Thank you very much. Okay, board member comments. Any board member comments? Okay. Tom, you got any announcements or things you need to talk
Just
about?
want to make sure everybody votes for the board election. We're trailing how we normally are. We're about 18% with less than a week to go. So would love to get it to 22, 23%. But if you're sitting on a ballot at home, please vote.
Okay, thank you. With that, I'll turn it over to Rick.
I'll try to run through this pretty quickly. The Norwood drawdown, of course, is complete. It's refilled. We'll be removing the siphon pipe sometime this summer. Lake Brittany is also at full pool, so we're not running the pump currently. The POA Rangers had 4,400 contacts during the month of April, up slightly from March. If you remember, April was kind of rainy. March was actually better weather. And then compared to April of 2024, we were down about 150. We are still recovering and returning many kayaks that have broken loose. Let's see. The fly tire dock at the Loman Marina has been repaired, so that's ready to go. We're finishing up the buoy checks, so we're putting buoys back where they belong, checking the lights, making sure that they're standing vertical, that kind of thing. That's about done. Checking on docks for bumpers and that kind of thing. That work is also about done. At London Landing, we put the stream bank back in place. It was encroaching over towards the pavilion, was only about 18 inches away from the pavilion. And so we put that back, we fortified it with rock, and went upstream and found some trees that had fallen and had kind of diverted things over to that side. And so going forward, that should be corrected. Looking at the end of this week or early next week to actually do the dredging there. With the recent rains, the water had been up about 6 inches to a foot, which really made a difference in how far out into the lake we could reach and take care of that. So that's still coming. As far as our staffing goes, we have all 4 summer rangers have been hired and trained and turned loose on their own. We're looking for 1 additional grounds maintenance worker and have a good prospect on that one. In fisheries and lakes ecology, all the previously constructed fly tire habitat has been placed. 3 of 4 aquaculture ponds are now stocked with bluegill to help supplement the lakes. Lake fertilization actually began today with Lake Ann, Rayburn, and Loman. We had previously benefited a bit from all the runoff and the fertilization that people had done on their lawns, but that's kind of run its course. We're not fertilizing a lot yet, but did get started today. The spring electrofishing is complete. It was interrupted by all the heavy rain. It was too cold before the rain. It was too warm after the rain. And so I'm not going to put a lot of confidence on this year's spring data. We'll go back and do some summer shoreline seining and see if we can pick up some of the young of the year fish, and then we'll get a better look at things in the fall. The Kids Fishing Derby was a success. We had 67 participants. The largest fish was close to 12 pounds, and we want to thank our staff who worked some overtime, and the fly tyers who provided some extra assistance, as they always do, and some prizes. Speaking of that, our grass carp raffle, we had our first monthly winner of that gift card, and I have had 20 carp entered into that raffle. We're starting to get quite a bit more interest. We're fielding what starts off as complaints about people bow fishing or not quite understanding what's going on, and when we explain, people are generally okay with what's going on. So I'm feeling better about that going forward.
Hey Rick, can you
yes.
clarify that? I have a friend that bow fishes and he came back and the PD was there waiting for him. So can you kind of clarify for the residents what is allowed at night for bow fishing for this?
So bow fishing is allowed with lights at night. We suggest that folks don't spend an inordinate amount of time in any one spot because that becomes annoying over time, and to pay special attention to shining lights and you know, through big plate glass windows and that kind of thing. If someone collects a fish, they can report it to my office with a picture. They can bring it by in person. Once we verify that, we'll give them a lottery ticket and a raffle ticket, and then they'll be entered into the monthly drawing. So. And our creel survey is live. We've only had 20 or so people fill out a survey. We'd like to see more people do that. We did have one person fill it out 4 times after each of their fishing trips, which is fine. But anyway, like to see more people take advantage of that and let us know what they think. It's the only way we can improve things if we know what people have a problem with.
So creel survey, you have to be stopped. Somebody has to stop you and ask you to take.
No, and I was looking. I've got cards. There, you can go online and follow a link to take the survey on our website. We have cards that we pass out to folks that's got a QR code on it. You can scan that and take it. We do have printed forms if you want to do it that way. We're trying to make it easy. And
I've got them as well.
I'm sorry?
They can come to the marina for them,
Yes.
the cards as well.
There's a, yes.
So you can do a search on the website and find a creel survey somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. All right, any other questions for Rick before we move on? I guess that's a no. Okay, next item. We need to conduct interviews. Scott Soberoff is going to roll off the committee at the end of June. I think we have 2 applicants. So I will invite them, I'm reading through that procedure, I will invite them to the next meeting, and then we can do the process. Do they have to fill out another application if we've already got their application? Can they use an old application? Is my question, I think, that I'm not sure about.
I think we prefer that they use the new one. It's only 1 page, so it's not a heavy lift. So we'd prefer that we adopt the brand new procedure.
Okay, so we'll do that, and I'll invite I think we only have 2 candidates, but I'll invite them to the next meeting, and you guys will all get to meet them. We have a new secretary. Carol is off doing a TV show, and so we've got a new secretary, will be Jeff Reedy. And so he's not here today, but he's agreed to do the secretary job for the interim period anyway, for the next foreseeable future, hopefully. I had something on the agenda about kayak demo days.
We have not gotten it approved.
So we would like to ask the committee to approve a kayak demo day for June 23rd. We previously used Ozark Mountain kayaks, and they are no longer interested in doing it anymore. So we contacted Ozark Kayaks, very similar name. They're located across from Lowe's, and they're really excited about doing that and offering that to our membership. And I've actually received a number of emails from property owners asking when the demo day is. So this is an easy job for us. We just provide them with the location. We don't do much more than that. They need to bring in vendors and so forth. So if this is acceptable, we'd like the committee to vote to approve. We have seen a steady increase in the number of kayaks that are registered, and I think some of that is because of the demo days.
And I'm sorry, I had the date wrong. It is June 28th.
June 28th.
At Lake Ann.
Okay, my question was, is it gonna be at Lake Ann?
Yes.
Okay, questions to Rick and team about demo days, kayak demo days? Kevin?
I've been to, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them, and they're well attended. I'll make a motion to approve it.
Anybody else have any comments, thoughts, objections? I mean, we can go ahead and approve it right now, if everybody's good with it. So I got a first. Second. Second, okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Nobody's opposed.
Nobody else is there.
All right.
We appreciate it.
So that motion passes, thank you.
That was the 28th, correct?
28,
Okay.
28. Do we have somebody from Fly Tires just gonna talk about our grass park tournament? Yes, sir. You're up next.
All right, I'm Max Schofield, and I've come up with a conceptual grass carp tournament, and I'm asking for input from you guys and maybe a variance or two, but my concept is to do something in September or something in the fall, something that's after maybe the kids have gone to school, and possibly on a work day, so that the disturbance is less on that day than maybe some of maybe the weekend. I'd like to limit it to 50 boats, spread out over all the lakes, with Lowman getting 20, Windsor 12 and 7, Avalon 4, Rayburn 3, Brittany and Norwood both 2 boats. The fishermen will be limited to those lakes, at least initially. And I'm thinking about maybe opening it up so they go to any lake after maybe 5 hours. But the total tournament, I'm thinking, should be around 7 hours. I would like to see the entrance fee at least $50, maybe $100, with 100% going into the payoff. And I'm also going to be looking for another $2,000 in additional money for additional payout. The Fly Tires is a 501c3, and so we don't need, a profit from this. We operate with all volunteer stuff, so we can do the 100% payout. We've never really looked for a project and then gone out and solicited for grants or anything like that. We've always looked for something to do with the money we had in the bank. So as a result, we've never asked for donations because people didn't know what they were donating to. I'm trying to change a little bit of that. I'm looking for projects, and this is a pretty simple place to start from my point of view. But if we do a 50% payout, $50 entrance fee, first prize would be $2,000. I believe that is enough to get some attention and get some quality people in here that can get the job done. But it goes down and pays down to 8 places. I don't want any nighttime fishing, because I think that you've heard, you know a little bit about that issue. And I would like for you to consider a variance on outside boats and trailers. I introduced this to the club a couple weeks ago, and one guy popped up and said, I was in a carp tournament in Nebraska, a few years back. I had 400 pounds. I was last. It's like, whoa, somebody knows how to do this. So those are the people I'm after. They're the ones I want to attract. So I need at least a one-day variance on that end of it. I think one residual effect of this will be that we're really going to push the communications to the community as to the problem with these. We'll be doing some handouts, and I think I'd like to give some stuff to your rangers to hand out. I know a number of bass tournaments, clubs we can get involved with. But I think the residual effect will be great. And create a lot of community involvement.
So you gave a lot of information, and I think it's a great idea. So just to clarify, the tournament would be on one day? It's a
Yes.
one-day event?
Depending on the success, and success will depend on the weather a lot.
Okay.
If it goes well and everything is fine with you, the committee here, we may want to do another one in the springtime.
Okay. And then clarification on you're looking for $2,000 to get, you're looking for outside funding?
Yes, I will be.
Explain, and where is that, where are you anticipating that coming from?
Most anybody.
Okay,
I'm going to be asking for more than that,
okay,
but if this is successful, I believe I'm going to target $10,000 for the restoration of the lakes and to help with the progress after we get to the point where the grass carp don't get ahead of us with the vegetation regrowth.
okay.
But I'll be working with the committee, to see what additional funding that will create.
So how will the weigh-in take place? Will it be a catch and bring your catch to the scales at each lake? You can have people at each of the participating lakes, or have you figured that out?
That's not clearly defined in my mind, but what I'd like to, I believe we'll go to one place to weigh in. I'll need somebody at each lake that can make sure that the boats are, they don't have fish in them before they start, and that the timing, the deadline time is recognized. But once that whoever's at that lake will number the fish and say, okay, take them to Loman Pavilion or something like that to get weighed in. I thought maybe we'd do it at each weigh in at each lake, but it's just not.
It's a little complicated.
Yeah, doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I think you're not only providing some opportunities for some fishermen who want to go out and try to win this thing, but I also think you're going to be helping us out in a big way, trying to get rid of some of these carp, which we've all talked about trying to do. When do you need an answer from us by? Do you need an answer soon, or do you? I mean, I don't anticipate having an issue, but
I don't think so. I would like some input.
Okay.
And really to, help put it together. I want it open to all legal fishing methods, yeah. And if it's between, the longer we have to I'm gonna encourage everybody to start chumming, gather those things up, corral them if you want to. I don't care. I just, we're after numbers, and my initial goal is 200 carp that day.
okay.
Whether that happened, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I suggested that because he and I worked together a little bit, sort of developing a plan. I suggested that potentially the committee may want to assign a subcommittee to help him formulate a plan to go forward with.
Thoughts from any other members?
Yeah, I've got a couple of comments. There's a lot, I think it's a.
Put your mic on.
Oh, sorry. I think it's a worthwhile project to pursue. We probably need a draft of some type, so that we can go through it. There's a lot of moving parts here. And, once we get a draft together, we can probably make more progress.
I'm willing to make a draft, but I want to make sure it's pretty well taken care of a lot of the questions that I have, because I need that from everybody here.
Well, that could certainly be part of that draft.
Yeah.
But I think we need to get something down on paper so that we can know who's on first, who's on second, so on and so forth.
Any other comments?
Do you know how many volunteers are gonna be needed, and will they be all fly tie? I mean, I'm sure the fly tyers are gonna jump on this, but are we gonna need additional?
Well, I'm sure Rick's going to want people there to make good survey of what's coming out, where, and the quality of those fish. I wouldn't anticipate more than a couple from the POA, but we'll need. I've already had one guy say, "Well, I want to have some barbecued carp ready to hand out and show people how good they are." And it's like, oh God. So, whatever.
But I mean, at least 7, one at each lake.
Oh yeah, we'll need some people.
Probably what, like a dozen, 20 maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, there'll be several.
Okay.
I would suggest that a final weigh-in be on the same set of scales.
Yes.
I don't see how you can do it at each lake and have.
Yeah,
and
I don't.
comparing apples to apples that way.
With the amount of money I want involved,
Yeah.
So my question, and we don't have legal here, and we've had some opposition to this in the past about letting outside boats in. I do think he has a very good point about letting, because you're gonna have some people from the outside who are gonna be pretty avid about this, and it is kind of gonna benefit us. Not kind of gonna benefit, it will benefit us, so.
It's a learned skill too. Which we don't really have here.
Correct.
Or don't have a lot of. Catching carp is it's not a bass tournament where everybody here does it. If we brought in people from the outside, we would have that.
So is that something that the board would have to approve, or is that something that legal would have to approve, or?
No, so that's what the committee has to weigh, is the benefit of pulling out all the grass carp versus allowing outside people to use our lakes for this tournament. That's and it's within, in accordance with our governing documents, the committee can approve this. It's not unlike what we just did with approving the kayak demo day. Vast majority of people that will come to the kayak demo day will be members, but there will be some outside people. Same thing for the kids fishing tournament. Vast majority of them are members, but some of them are not members. And that's why we seek approval before we go forward. So this is within the authority of the committee to weigh the positives and negatives and make a decision.
Are any members present here, anybody have any opposition to this? I mean,
It needs to be done.
I agree. I'm all for it, but I just want to make sure I'm not the only one who's like gung ho about this. So,
Oh, it's a worthwhile project, we just need to get a plan in place.
and I think he's going at it about the right way. He's doing it to try to. We're not just going to go after a couple of fish. I mean, if we get 200 carp out of the lakes, that'd be fantastic. So, anybody want to make a motion to move forward with this and improve it?
I was gonna say also that with allowing non-residents, non-members in, it's just gonna be for 7 hours or whatever it is, and it's a specific tournament. They're not fishing for red ear, they're not fishing for bass, anything else. It is grass carp only. So I will make a motion to approve this.
Do I get a second? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. You can call me anytime. I don't know, we necessarily have to have a subcommittee, but you're welcome to call me, and if a couple of you want to work with me, if we need to get together and meet as a subcommittee, I'm willing to do that. I don't know if that'll absolutely be necessary, but if you don't have my number, I'll give it to you. You can call me. I'm all for this. I will help you in any way that I can to make this happen.
What about the variance?
Just got it.
We just got it.
What else do you need from me? I'll get the committee and,
Yeah, we just need specifics,
Look-
and we can help promote it. So we need a date, time, location, rules, that kind of stuff. And we can help promote it.
And then once you submit that, maybe legal and maybe the rest of us can look at it and say, well, we might want to tweak a couple of things. So just develop a draft that we can look at, and we can all take a look at it, and if, make changes or suggestions, and then you can move forward, and it gives you enough time to get this thing put together. But I think it's a great idea. I think it's gonna be I wish we had something like this for small bass, honestly.
For what?
For small bass. I wish you were taking some small bass out of there also.
I've been doing my part.
Probably would need a rain date also, and weather's good through October at least. So this can be adjusted as necessary, but
Rick,
I think the fall is better.
yeah, is there a specific time when it's easier to catch carp or trap them or?
A month ago, they tend to come up shallow in the early spring and on sunny days, and they're still up shallow doing their thing. The middle of summer can get kind of difficult, but when the water starts to cool off in the fall, you've got about 2 months. You've got about 2 months in the fall where they're easier to get.
Do you think October or September?
Late September, early October is what I would shoot for.
A lot of it depends on water too.
Yeah. I mean, some years up through Thanksgiving they're still available.
Okay.
I like your idea. Thanks for coming up with that. That's fantastic. Thank you.
I've been listening to several of your meetings here over the last several months, and this is an idea that's come up several times, so.
Well,
Thank
Rick and I just spoke this morning on a phone call about just trying to do this on something like this on bass, and we've got a couple ideas. We're not ready to talk about them yet, but anyway. So thanks, appreciate that. Okay, I was just informed that Ross Gerner is also wanting to exit the committee, so now we have 2 openings, Ross and Scott, and so I do think I have 2 applications, assuming those 2 individuals are still interested. We could hopefully fill those positions. We need to talk about, I think I've covered everything except the fall drawdown lake. So we need to start talking about which lake we're gonna draw down, when, how, pros and cons, that sort of thing. So, Rick?
So as you would expect, being that there's there's at least 500 dock numbers, more than 500 dock numbers assigned to Loch Lomond. Almost 500 docks are actually there. We get more requests for work on Lomond than any other lake. In the normal rotation of things, we would be at Lake Ann and then Lake Rayburn before Loch Lomond. But the POA doesn't have any interest in either of those lakes doing any work this next year. The dredging at Granton is, we're gonna do what we can, but you do a much better job when there's no water there. So we would go in this fall and clean that up properly, more than just dipping it out, which is about all we can do now. So we do have interest on Lomond, a lot of interest from residents in doing work, and so I think that the lake to go for would be Lomond. It also, we're not going to be in a position where we have vegetation returning this year. But if we get Lomond off the list, that'll give us another 5 years to get vegetation established before we lower it again. So all those things kind of coming together, I think Lomond would be a good choice for drawdown.
When does this need to be decided by? Do you need to know like in the next couple months or?
We usually shoot for the June meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, we either this month or next month, because it takes them some time to get the word out, and then the people that want to do the work have to then coordinate with the contractors and get those scheduled, and then get permits and everything that they need to get from the city and from the ACC.
Okay, so once again, I'm gonna open it up. Opposition, pros, cons, committee members, what do y'all think? Anybody have any comments?
I'll just say regarding an interest standpoint, I've heard from several residents on the lake that have work to do, so there's certainly to back that up as well.
Okay. I too have heard from some people asking about it, so. Anybody? Comments, questions, concerns? Are we ready to vote on that?
Of course, Brittany was on drawdown last year also,
Yes.
so.
And also, we pulled Ann, we left Ann down for a long time because of that other issue, so probably a good idea to skip them this year too. You think about it.
Hey, Rick, where is Norwood relative to Full Pool?
It is.
Is
full.
it? Okay,
is.
thank you.
Not a lot coming over, or maybe none coming over, but it is full.
If we need a motion, recommend for Loch Lomond drawdown, I'll make it.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll make a motion, we draw down Loch Lomond this fall.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Any other questions on any of the topics that we talked about today before we move on to open forum? I think we got everything covered. Sir, do you have anything to say? You do not? Okay. Anything else on any topic?
Yeah, I have one question. Max, when do you think we can get a draft?
This week, for sure, keep drawing down.
Okay, thank you.
And Max, I would just continue to work with Rick, and then you can send it to him, and he can copy it out to us or whatever, and I'll give you my contact info. We'll get you what you need to get this thing done, so. Am I missing anything? All right, that's it. I don't have anything else. Going once, going twice, meeting adjourned.